Good morning. Come on in. There was no massive crane behind us this morning. It is Friday, September the 13th. Great to be back in the studio. Here's what we're working on this morning. Air Canada says some operations will start to be affected today as time is running out before a potential shutdown.
It is Friday the 13th. We're going to have updates on road closures heading into Port Dover.
Justin Timberlake is expected to enter a plea to driving while intoxicated charge related to his June arrest. I do say it's nice to be back in the studio, but what a great day yesterday.
It was so much fun.
It was fantastic.
And I learned so much.
Yeah, if you missed it, where were you? We were down at the HOPA ports on Hamilton waterfront. Any water behind you? If you take a couple steps back this morning, right?
You're safe. Step back today and not go splash. Yeah, really. Dwayne on camera kept saying, just back another step. Just back another. Wait a minute. Yeah? I don't think so.
You should have tethered yourself to him.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
You both go in.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to talk more about that.
It was a great day yesterday.
Yeah. And you think about all the people that are up there that are working right now at this hour. It gives you another perspective.
All hours. So thanks for all the feedback. There's a lot of positive feedback about it. We're going to talk more about that coming up. Similar start to what we had yesterday, though, Brian, of this fog.
Yeah, fog advisory in effect once again for Hamilton and for the Niagara area. And I'll show you that on cameras coming up. But be really careful this morning. Some areas, like here, 403 Waterdown Road, that looks pretty good at the moment. But other areas, yeah, pretty thick fog. I came through some patches this morning, and I've seen some on our MTO traffic cameras as well. So be careful. But today, another day like yesterday. Beautiful sunshine. Temperature got to 26 yesterday. That's our forecast high for the day again today and tomorrow. And pretty much the same thing for Sunday as well. You factor in the humidity, which is right up there again. At 100%, it's going to feel like about 33 for the day today, so just a little bit on the sticky side, but still just an absolutely gorgeous, almost mid-September day here. September, Friday the 13th today, and be careful on the roads today. Going to be a lot of motorcycles out. It's going to be a beautiful day to head down to Port Dover today for Friday the 13th. Looking at, we'll talk about the forecast coming up. By the way, we're sitting at 14 right now. Traffic, 403 Waterdown Road, it's just normal volume for this time of the morning. Nothing to see right there. To our some MTO traffic cameras. Here's Midland Road, Stony Creek. That looks pretty good. Skyway Bridge, no problems. No problems at Appleby. I just want to show you this camera at the QEW and 7th and St. Catharines. There's some fog for you, and there's a lot of fog in the area, so be real careful. Please take it easy. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up in just a few minutes as usual. Right now, the news.
Top story there has to do with Air Canada because they're warning that some operations like cargo and vacation packages could start being affected today as the countdown continues to a potential strike by the air carrier's pilots. The airline called for the government to be ready to intervene to avoid major disruptions. A shutdown would cause for its more than 110,000 travelers a day. A full shutdown that could happen on Sunday. Meantime, contract talks, they are stalled with accusations that the union is being inflexible and corporate greed is keeping the pilots from getting what they are due.
Nearly 33,000 Boeing factory workers have gone on strike. Workers from the Machinists Union walked off the job at several plants in the U.S. at midnight, halting production of Boeing's best-selling jets. The union says its members have rejected a contract offer that included a 25% pay increase over 4 years. Boeing says that's the largest ever general wage increase it's offered, but it is far less than the 40% over 4 years that the union is calling for. A strike is another setback for the aerospace giant, whose reputation and finances have been hit by manufacturing problems and several investigations by the U.S. government this year.
Well, it is Friday, the 13th. You know what that means. Biker enthusiasts and fans from all across the country and the U.S. going to be gathering in Port Dover to mark the event that only comes around when the days perfectly align and the weather perfectly aligns. Simone Gavros is on her way to Dover and has more.
Well, we're headed to Port Dover this morning, and thankfully the weather is much warmer compared to last time in October. Now, this event typically attracts anywhere from 50,000 people to 100,000 people, especially when it lands in some of the warmer months. Now, of course, safety is paramount, and that's something that the city as well as OPP are reminding people. So we're going to be riding down in style this morning thanks to Rev Full Throttle Power Sports. I have my helmet back here ready to go, so we'll be seeing you guys all right down there, but for now I'll send things back over to you.
Okay, and we'll be following Simone on her journey there. Well, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh says his party is working on an alternative climate plan for the next federal election, but he wouldn't say if the plan includes a consumer carbon tax.
We want to see an approach to fighting the climate crisis where it doesn't put the burden on the backs of working people, where big polluters have to pay their fair share, they have to pay the price of their pollution, but it shouldn't be on working people's shoulders. And so we've been working on a plan, and we'll be releasing our plan, our vision for how we can do that in a stronger way in the coming months.
Singh criticized the Liberals for creating divisions among workers by exempting home heating oil from the carbon price. He also accused Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre of not wanting to fight climate change at all. In response to Singh's comments, Poilievre released a video on social media featuring a montage of Singh repeatedly voting in favor of the consumer carbon price in the House of Commons. Yesterday was the last day of the NDP caucus retreat before the House of Commons returns on Monday.
A survey done for the Ontario government suggests a big factor preventing the province from speeding up infrastructure projects is a sense of public distrust because of the Greenbelt scandal. So the Greenbelt was frequently cited in an online survey about infrastructure conducted by Leger. Polling, it comes more than a year after reports first raised questions about the government's ties to housing developers. Two media investigations found the province's process to remove land from the Greenbelt favored certain developers. Premier Doug Ford ended up reversing his decision and returned the land. And the polling suggests the Greenbelt issue was a clear example in participants' minds of government overreach.
Hamilton police investigating yet another targeted shooting. Around 6 yesterday morning, there was a shooting near Rainbow and Secord Drives. Police confirmed a 27-year-old man had been shot. He was taken to hospital. He's expected to recover. Police say the shooting may have been taken place not where he was found, but in the area of Nash Road and Bancroft Street between 1 and 2 in the morning.
3 people have been arrested after a murder on Hamilton's Central Mountain nearly 3 years ago. In December of 2021, 24-year-old Shaden Storer died after being found shot in the driveway of his home near Upper Wentworth and Mohawk Road. Now, surveillance video from nearby showed a vehicle arriving just before the shooting and leaving immediately after. 2 men in their 20s from Hamilton have now been charged with first-degree murder in Storer's death. Third person from Edmonton has been charged with being an accessory after the fact to murder and obstructing police.
Police have released surveillance video of an arson at a home near Hamilton's Tim Hortons Field. The video is from just before 6 in the morning on Friday, August 23rd. It clearly shows a man lighting several items on fire on the front porch of a house and then walking away. Police say a person in the home was asleep at the time. Man is white. He has a thin build and a possible sleeve tattoo on his right arm. He was carrying a backpack with the initials KD on the right side. Well, the Binbrook Fair is hosting its 171st annual fair this weekend. Hamilton police are boosting security at it and other festivals after a tense incident at the Winona Peach Festival last month. That's where police prevented a potential shooting. Police say fairs are a very safe place to be, but they're just asking people to be cautious.
At these type of events, trust your instincts, know your atmosphere. If something doesn't feel well, then it probably is an indication that you need to move away from what is happening in that area.
Now, the Binbrook Fair has a demolition derby today and tomorrow, a rodeo tomorrow and Sunday, and kids entertainment all weekend.
Weather looking pretty darn good for that. Let's get into sports sign and week 2 of the CFL season. NFL season. We'll get to the CFL in a second. Got going last night from Miami where the Dolphins hosted the Bills. And Buffalo, they have dominated the Finns recently, and it continued in the Thursday nighter.
Buffalo at the 49-yard line. On the ground, breaking tackles, 20, inside the 5, somersaults for the touchdown. Whoa.
Yeah, the Bills' James Cook was flipping out because he was a one-man wrecking crew as he would score 3 touchdowns on the night, including that 49-yard romp. All 3 came in the first half. First Bill to do that since Thurman Thomas. Defense was doing their part as well. Despite some injury woes, they picked off Tua Tagovailoa 3 times, capped off by this pick 6 by Jamarcus Ingram. Bills win it easily, 31-10, and move to 2-0 in the season. They now have an 11-day break before hosting Jacksonville at home on Monday Night Football, September the 23rd. But the Bills' win did take a back seat to what happened to Miami quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, as he would leave the game in the third quarter with a concussion after taking this shot to the head. The problem is Tua has had a history of concussions, with this being his 3rd in 2 years. He remained down for a couple minutes before slowly walking off the field. Now, he will be evaluated today, but major concerns about his future. He has become one of the highest paid players in the league, signing a 4-year, $212 million contract before the season started. Let's get to that 3-down football where Tua's brother, Tua Tagovailoa, who plays for the Ticats, the Cats are in must-win territory if they have any hopes of crawling their way back into the playoff race in the East. Coming off a bye week and a big Labor Day win over the Argos, they get set to host a very talented Ottawa Red Black squad tomorrow afternoon at Tim Hortons Field. League leader in passing and touchdowns, Bo Levi Mitchell will lead the offense against Ottawa. Trying for a 2nd straight win and their 4th of the season, Red Blacks can book a spot in the playoffs with a win, something they did back in week 4 on a last-second field goal against the Tabbies in the nation's capital. Just want to note the change in start time for this game. If you haven't heard, it was supposed to be at 4. It's going to get going at 3. Well, we are 2 weeks away from the Brantford Bulldogs kicking off their 24-25 OHL season. They're making some moves. Yesterday, they acquired the rights to 8th overall draft pick Caleb Malhotra for a number of draft picks. I say the rights because Malhotra chose not to report to Kingston, who drafted him, and plans to play for the Chilliwack Chiefs of the BCHL this season, and then Boston University in the fall of 2026. 16-year-old, who is the son of former NHLer Manny Malhotra, is an elite playmaker, and he scored 32 goals and 67 points in 69 games in the GTHL Championship. Vaughan Kings. Let's go to the Davis Cup, which is the preeminent international tennis tournament. And after beating Argentina on Tuesday, Canada defeated Finland yesterday from Manchester. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Denis Shapovalov, they were straight set winners in doubles, and they won in doubles too for a 3-love victory. With qualification to the next round basically secured, Canada, they face host nation Great Britain come Sunday.
And this is Friday the 13th, and it is now 6:13, by the way. We're looking at traffic first of all, then we'll get you into the forecast for today and the weekend. Traffic's doing fine here at the 403 and Waterdown Road, and actually you can see fairly nicely right there, so not a lot of fog here. Let's go into St. Catharines and our MTO traffic camera, show you the QEW in 7th. Very foggy through parts of St. Catharines into Niagara Falls as well. There is a fog advisory for there and for Hamilton. Nothing here at Millen Road, Stony Creek. Fairview looks fine through Burlington. Oakville at the Ford plant, all doing okay. Same with Dixie going through Mississauga. Not a lot to see in traffic, but keep in mind motorcycles on the roads today. Check your mirrors, do shoulder checks, and be careful. All the motorcycles on the roads this morning. All right, let's get into our temperature right now. We are above seasonal to start a morning. We're sitting at 14 degrees. Winds are light. The relative humidity is right up there, 100%. And so we're getting a fair bit of ground fog. It's patchy at the moment. Air quality risk for the day today, it's in the moderate category for both morning and afternoon. We've had that southerly flow for a number of days, pulling in some of the heat and humidity that we've been experiencing. And of course, you get particulate matter in that air as well. But look at this ridge of high pressure staying with us. Even though one has gone off to the east, another one pushing its way down to the south along the east coast, still giving us that southerly flow, still giving us the clear skies and the sunshine. So today, temperatures, we're looking anywhere from 26, 27, even 28 degrees for Simcoe, Cayuga, and Brantford. Humidity will make it feel like about 33 today. Tonight, Temperatures falling, well, about like where we are right now to start the morning. 13 to 15 degrees tonight, 16 for Toronto. And then tomorrow, temperatures anywhere from 26 to 27 degrees. 29, though, for Cayuga, Simcoe, and Brantford, into 28 there. So warmer tomorrow in some areas, but humidex about 31 for the day tomorrow. So another gorgeous day. So out the door, Friday the 13th, we do have some fog patches. The sky is mainly clear. Temperature right now, 14. Long range in a few minutes. Annette, Tim.
What a fabulous weekend. Taking a break right now. When we come back, though, we're going to be checking in with Emily Vukovic with a preview of what's to come in our Friday Chit Chat.
And Canada Bread is accusing Maple Leaf Foods of using it as a shield to avoid liability in the bread price fixing scheme. And it's time to say good morning to Emily Vukovic.
No hard hat and fancy vest needed over there?
Yeah, I know. I was really enjoying it, but they made me give them back.
Very stylish.
It was, though.
It was.
A little different.
Yeah.
You know, had a little excitement.
What you got going on?
Okay, coming up, we're going to talk about Justin Timberlake and how he is entering a plea of guilty to a lesser charge because he just wants to move on with his life. We're talking about some new inductees into the Canadian Songwriter Hall of Fame, and Tears for Fears is doing something they've never done before.
Okay, we'll see you at the couch in the next little bit. Oh, okay. It's piqued your interest, has it?
Yeah, I like Tears for Fears.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Let's get into some business news. We'll start with some numbers, and we always start with the Canadian dollar because it's up 6 basis points on this Friday, trading at 73.67 cents US. Gold up nicely, over $17, 25.97.70. Crude oil up 55 cents, 69.52 a barrel. We also like to say good morning to Europe. Midday trading in London, Frankfurt, and Paris are up across the board.
In Asia, the markets were down today in Tokyo, up in Hong Kong, and down in Shanghai. North American markets, the TSX closed up 263 points, also triple-digit gains on Wall Street.
I'm so glad you're with us on this Friday the 13th. Canada Bread is accusing former controlling shareholders, Maple Leaf Foods, of using it as a shield in a bread price fixing case currently under investigation by the Competition Bureau. Company claims Maple Leaf should be liable for any damages, including those from 2 class action lawsuits. Ontario court filings, they show Canada Bread believes Maple Leaf broke the law and breached management agreements. While others are still being investigated, Canada Bread has already been fined $50 million in connection to the scandal.
Free public Wi-Fi service is about to end at Toronto subway stations. The TTC says a steep drop in rider usage is one of the main reasons it's ending its free Wi-Fi at the end of the year. It also cites reliability, security, and cost concerns. Cost is a big thing because it was going to spend $17 million on this. The decision comes as Rogers Communications continues to install 5G cellular service throughout Toronto's subway network, allowing for their passengers, their customers, to call, text, or browse the internet using their own data.
Canadian convenience store giant Couche-Tard is reportedly considering raising its offer to buy 7-Eleven's parent company in Japan. Earlier this week, Couche-Tard said it was willing to continue talks after 7 and I rejected its $39 billion bid. Analysts say the company will likely need to significantly raise its offer to bring the 7-Eleven chain to the table, though it's still unclear if Couche-Tard will submit a new proposal. Despite this, Couche-Tard remains confident in securing finances for what could become the largest foreign takeover of a Japanese company.
We are taking a quick break right now. Brian is going to be back with your traffic. That includes a lot of traffic going to Port Dover today, and also your weekend forecast.
Good morning, coming up on 624 on this Friday morning, and a foggy Friday the 13th, by the way, so be really careful, particularly fog advisory for Niagara, that's St. Catharines, Grimsby, into Niagara Falls as well, and for Hamilton. But nothing on the roads. QEW east of Lake doing okay. Top of the Skyway Bridge, Toronto bound towards us, obviously on the Hamilton side, getting a little bit busier now. Nothing still at Appleby Line all the way through Sheraton. We'll just dip into the 403 here at Credit View, doing fine. Keep keep in mind, Friday the 13th, lots of motorcycles on the roads today. What a beautiful day it's going to be into Port Dover. Check the temperature that we have right now. Sun isn't up yet. Another over half an hour before the sun even starts to climb above the horizon. 14 Hamilton, Mississauga, 15 Toronto, 17 for Grimsby. Those are our sun times for the day today. 6:58 it comes up now, goes down at 7:32. Those are our seasonals. We beat the seasonals yesterday. And again, we're going to have the sunshine. So for school today, 18 by the first bell, 26 for after school, sunshine right straight through. Humidex later on today about 33 degrees. So yeah, there it is, Port Dover. It's going to be a busy day in Port Dover today. And as I said, be careful on the road. So we've talked about today, it's 26 degrees today, 15 overnight tonight. Skies will be clear, but fog again. Tomorrow, sun and 26. Sunday, sun and 26. Monday, sun and 25. A little bit of cloud cover for Tuesday, and then the clouds roll in for Wednesday and Thursday. That's your forecast. Annette, Tim.
Oh, we had a beautiful day yesterday, didn't we, weather-wise and otherwise, because we had the pleasure of taking the show down to the Hamilton-Oshawa Port Authority, HOPA. We met so many great people who are involved with the everyday activities that go down around the port. We also discussed the future plans for this important port and the impact it will have on economies across the country.
Emily got to go behind the scenes of what happens around the port, and where Brian was located, we got to see so much activity as they were loading a barge that was heading stateside with generators on it.
Yeah, so it was kind of neat because we got to see these generators being loaded throughout the morning, and like by the end they had kind of completed the longshoremen completed the mission of putting them on all there.
The stevedoring.
The stevedoring
Yes.
by the longshoremen. Yeah, so learned a lot of terminology, learned a lot of things. Hopefully you did too. That's what I was kind of hearing from some of the viewers, that they didn't even know that it existed down there.
Yeah.
That all the stuff that was going on there, and that was kind of the whole goal from the outset, and even going down there to teach us and to teach our viewers and just to make everybody aware that it's kind of like a city within a city that not too many people have access to. But
40,000 jobs depend on that.
The drone came in was so important to kind of give us that bird's eye view of all the happenings and all the going on. So we want to thank our amazing crew that set everything up. We want to thank HOPA and all our amazing guests. It was a lot of fun. So. To the next one, because we love getting out into the community. Good stuff there. 1/2 hour down. Lots more to come on your Friday morning. We'll see you in a couple minutes.